Okay, camera is rolling. Let's start today's class. Usually, it takes a few months. Just do Zhanzhuang, do this. A few, of course, different hand postures before we start doing the movement, which we call force testing. But today, let's try that. Let's do 15 minutes of standing so that the body is at least in the Zhanzhuang posture, you getting used to the, as much as possible to do the force testing. Let's try some of the movement together. I wish all of you guys could experience as much as possible while I'm here, but it will take you quite some time to do the work. And I think Hosh will be a good assistant later to keep you guys going if you want to do that. And I do plan to come back, hopefully in twice a year, but I'll be trying at least once a year. So that, we've been doing this thing for 3 years. And, I made a promise to all my students, online class students, that I'll come to your place to correct you. That's my responsibility, because without touching, which is sometimes not so, in this territory culture, but that really it's a must. It's a must. So when we were starting this, we were hoping, come touch me, touch me, because once the teacher is putting some attention, something is wrong, or he tries to improve you. So let's do standing for 15 minutes, and then we'll do movement together. I think I'll stand here. Can you stand here, please? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So let's do the standing. I'll just do the basic structure once again. Separate 3 preconditions. Concentrate, loosen the whole body, and breathe naturally. Okay, breathe naturally, and then separate the feet as wide as the shoulders. You can point your toes outward a little bit. I tend to keep them parallel to each other. I think I feel most comfortable when I do a movement with my feet parallel to each other. And I'm slightly bend the knees, and then imagine sitting on a one-legged stool. So it's really, really tricky because it's, there's no real stool. In reality, there's nothing here. But we trick the body, the intention or the mind, we trick the body to do that. So one-legged stool. If you sit too low, too much, you will fall. If you don't sit, the one-legged stool will fall. Always keep that in mind. It takes some time. It took me some time to do that properly. So I have to help you tucking the hips and roll the tailbone from time to time. Just make sure that you have that feeling. Oh, that's correct. That wasn't. So this is correct. You're gonna do the correction yourself later. You try to remember you. So I need a teacher would always need to do the corrections. Okay, as soon as we sit properly, imagine a string lifting the head up. While this string lifting the head up, it's lifting the whole body, not just the head. So your body is supposed to be centered, balanced, aligned with the string lifting and sitting. And then, of course, everybody is doing this. And then lift up the arms slowly, separate the fingers. Imagine the fingers are connected with 5 strings each other. And you couldn't pull apart, you couldn't push in because those strings are, let's say, iron strings. As soon as the arms are here, imagine embracing a big pepper ball in front of the chest. And remember, when you're embracing, the ball is gently expanding. So for the arms, we put 70% on embracing, 30% on expanding. As soon as we're embracing and expanding, our arms, we imagine the legs slightly squeezing a rubber ball. Now the ball between the knees must be heavier than the ball in front of your chest, because we want to keep more body weight below the waist. We always say 60% below the waist, 40% above the waist. Do not put too much attention above the waist. And then slightly keep the mouth open. If you want to, you can close the eyes, but usually we just keep the eyes open and look straight forward. All the joints are bent in Zhanzhuang postures, all of them. And then you can do the leaning forward and backward. And you could also imagine you're standing with this posture on a boat that's floating on the water, and the boat is swaying and bobbing, so your body is also doing the movement instead of forward, backward, which we did in the leaning forward, backward, which is called in a lake. So now we are doing the training called on a boat. So instead of forward, backward, the two directions, now we randomly lean the body to all directions. It looks like this. So you're standing on the boat with the whole body. Connect, make sure the hips, make sure here, hua, which is Chinese word for hips, keep the hua connected so that the upper body, lower body are always connected. Yeah, and then keep your E real, keep the training E real. You're really standing on the boat, and the boat is sometimes strong wind, or you need to balance. Sometimes no wind, no movement, just relaxing. So you control that. Use the mind. Here comes a question. What if we stand on a real boat and let the boat? What's the differences between this and that? Anyone, any ideas? Anything you want to?
It's predictable when you're on a real boat.
That's good.
It's pitching to different angles, the surface of the deck. It's changing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On a up and down. On a boat, we would be responding to the movement, whereas here we're initiating it.
That's good. Any thoughts? What do you say?
Well, Josh said it. So the point is the intention. So if you're on a boat, then you're standing on a boat, then you're responding to what's coming in. Here we're creating it.
Yeah. Amazing, like that such a beginner got that wrong answer right. So in our words, when we do in this meditation, we're doing the movement positively. Like, is it positively?
I mean, essentially that is.
What's opposite to passive?
Well, it's active.
Actively. So yeah, so we do them actively, but when we stand on a real boat, I think that expression is English, is better in English, right? So, but we do the movement passively. No, never practice on a real boat, and never hold a real ball. And we're going to imagine embracing a tree, so never go find a tree and hug it. Because that's all, like our words is like passive. you're doing them passively. So this one will do them spontaneously. The body it is different. Do you use 浑元 force? 浑元, have you heard? 浑元? No? I think, forget about that. It's, So, so imagine that, enjoying yourself on the boat. Yeah, good.
Somewhere it's busy tonight. It's busy. It's Friday night.
I love that, honestly.
Yeah. Friday night doing this.
So why am I?
We are not normal. We're weird. We are weirdos. Friday night.
I'm busy with my chi or something. Right? Is that word?
Now you imagine that two ants, each of them running underneath your foot. And you try to let the ant run freely, like to, random directions, but you don't hurt the ants. And when the ant tries to get away from your feet, you squeeze a little bit that part of your foot to make it return, because the ant, fast and unpredictable, but you just, when it reaches the edge of your foot, you shift the body weight a little bit to that and then return. So for the leaning, the leg forward, backward, only two directions, and the boat, all directions, and the body weight shifting is slow and evenly. But for this one, quick, like randomly, this one could be running to the front, and you squeeze probably here, these two parts, and you squeeze here, you could be squeezed here, could be squeezed here. So you always, play, with the even more. So weight shift on the feet are more quickly, and so that the whole body movement. Keep doing that. Smile at the same time. Yeah. So we're doing the E of ant on foot. So far I have mentioned all the three basic training E for this stance. They're basic. There are only three of them. In a leg, on a boat, and on the foot. Yeah, and on the foot, yeah. And on the foot, yeah. So those are the three basic ones. The body is getting used to the whole body movement, and generally still relaxed. You spread a little more. So the fingers, we tend to spread them a little bit more in the beginning. Later, you can do this like more relaxed, but in the beginning, try to put them, you put some attention on the fingertips, because we say this is the edge of the body. Usually, they are furthest to the heart. The blood don't go there really well. And then when you do this exercise, you put some attention there, your blood circulation, they're going to flush there. If you have cold hands, this will help. If you have cold feet, it will help. Yeah, feet will be warmer for sure without any intentions, because more body weight below the waist and all the movement, you're going to need to do a little bit muscles tightening and loosening with the legs so that you could be doing this movement, the whole body movement. Okay, take a break, put the hands on the here resting stance, and we're going to do for a few minutes, and we're going to do some movements. Good. Sitting is better than yesterday. Let's see if you can tuck in it a little more. Yeah. Good. This is perfect here. Tuck in a little bit and bend. Yeah. So just now, it looks like you're leaning. Yeah. So, yeah. Good. When you're able to do 1 hour standing, 15 minutes is so easy.
Was that 15?
Yeah. $17. So, okay. Let's do some movement together. Let's go to this stance. We all did this stance. Imagine standing on the waist deep water. Imagine standing on the waist deep water is also helpful to keep more body weight below the waist. If you think about that, like you're standing in the water and then the attention is below the waist, it helps. So for this move, for the basic Shili move, force tasting movement, we always stand in the waist deep water. And now we are pressing a big ball, let's say blue, a water ball or something like that. We're generally pressing the ball on the water. And now we start from here and slightly press. When you press, the ball is floating, there's resistance. When we do force tasting movement, there's always resistance. Without resistance, you are not doing it right. It takes some time, but let's say. So start from here, slightly press, and then lift the big ball upward, up to eyebrow level, and then change your wrist like this, and then press the ball into the water. Now remember I said we're standing on the waist level water, right? So people sometimes ask, if I lift, it's off the water, how can I press and feel the floating, right? That would be too much. It's fake, it's not real. So when you press, the ball is always floating. Even that we are only standing here, right? People get into details like, we should imagine standing on the neck level so that we can press all the time like floating, right? But just here is enough. And when we press the ball, you always feel the floating. And when you lift, the gravity also a resistance. And then you press and lift. While you are press, you lean a little bit, lean backward a little bit. So body weight shift to the heels a little bit, and then you lift, body weight shift to the front, to the toes, and then you press. So as soon as the hands reaching to the highest level, our body weight is just shifted to the toes and then going down. While shifting the body weight to the heels, we are pressing, and at this point, the body weight is just arrived at the heels, and you're just doing this. So 2 reversing points, like I and press, lift, press. The hand shape going upward, I prefer to keep them this way. It's like grabbing 2 jars or vase. You gotta grab that the rim. It's a big ball or 2 jars. No difference. If you press, it's like this. You spread fingers like this. When you lift, there are 2 reversing points, top and bottom. At the reversing point, do not break the force. We don't need to pause. Lift, press. Yeah, so it's always there, even at the reversing point. It's like you do a parallel parking, front, forward or backward for the car. The engine is always running. Yes, the speed at this moment is zero. But it's ready to reverse or forward. Same idea. That's we say we don't break the force. The force must be always connected, even at the reversing point. You guys are doing a good job. Yeah, and the body, it's always in the Zhanzhuang posture. You're sunk. Yeah, don't let the elbows fly. The elbow is always dropping. Good. You press and lift. Press. I think the fingers are more like forward. Yeah, starting from here. Yeah. And then lift and leaning forward. Press and lean backward. Good. That's right. I give you a little bit of resistance. Yeah. Without me giving you the resistance, you should always feel them in the movement. Always pressing the ball is floating. Always against. When you lift them, they're heavy. There's always resistance. That's too high. Too high. Below your high level, eyebrow level. Yeah, that's good. Lean forward, yeah. And then press and backward. Okay. Good. Lean backward and forward and good. lean backward and press. Forward. Yeah, feel mine. Put on my. So when I go this way, you press down a little bit, and I use the body to going forward like that. So you lean and going forward, and then you go on here, and I go backward. It will be like this. So so the body is lean. The body is providing the power, not the hands.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like you pull, like it's like you pull, like. Yeah. Then going forward is use the body to, similar as the pushing the ball. Yeah, and then good. Yeah. That's correct. Put some attention to the hand shapes. Make it good looking. Good job. Slower, the more slowly, the easier you feel the resistance. If you try slow like this, I think you guys all should feel a difference when you go slow. We don't need to always go to do the big circles. When you go slow, you can do small circles like this. Go slow, but slow, and then even like slow, like you couldn't. Like, When you go slow, it's like you're lifting an iron ball, like iron. Resist when you press like big giant ball, you couldn't press them into the water. It's floating, so strong. So when we do this movement, which is the second step of the Yichuan training, it's called Shili in Chinese. Shili, S-H-I-L-I. Shili. The literal translation is force testing, which probably doesn't make much sense in English. And Shili doesn't make much sense in Chinese either. It's just a term. So when we do Shili, always remember the resistance is important. And if you could do it slowly, that's better. More slowly, the better. The more slowly, the better. And you want to also feel that it's the body doing the movement, not the hands. So your body is providing the power. If I press, it's my body leaning backward. That leaning is helping me press. And when I go lifting, I push the ground with feet and then like this. It's similar when we do this stance, right? Pretty similar. You lift, not just your arms lifting. The body is lean forward. So the body is always the engine of the movement. The body moves first. The body leads the movement. To be even more specific, it's the spine, your spine. The spine is like everything is hanging on the spine. Your spine is straightened, powerful. Good, looks good. Actually, when we wanted to improve force testing movements, we usually need to do a longer time, like do 1 hour at a time. And when in the end, you're too tired, and then the body are so relaxed, so soft.
Might sneeze.
In Chinese culture, teachers tend to hide things from students. And Master Wang Xiangzai, who was the founder of this Yichuan, he was ahead of the time. He said, I try my best to teach you, and I give you everything I know. You are still probably not able to do them correctly. So, that's the teaching method. That's what I'm doing now. I tell you everything. I'm still afraid that you can't do them correctly. So I don't need to hide anything. I don't want to make it difficult. If you want more, I give you more. The teachers usually don't talk about that. Use the body leaning that, and giving these details to press you, tell you what's right. It would take years for you to do them correctly. And you never, when it comes to power fights, that's why they are so stronger than the students. They always stay stronger. Like couldn't figure out because they use the body and those are not important. So almost an hour. Let's take a break. Take a break. If you still want to do, of course, sure. You guys take a break. Anything. I'll talk about another movement. Take a break. I'll talk about another movement. So the body is so important. If you can figure out this, all other movements are the same thing. So we can do this. This is basically forward and this is basically upward and downward directions. We talk about 6 directions in Yichuan, 6 directions. So upward, downward, forward, backward, leftward, rightward. So this one, because the body is always leaning forward and backward, technically forward, backward is always there. This one is mainly about upward and downward. If we change the hands to this is leftward and rightward. So we are still standing on the waist deep water, always like that. And then open, I say open and close. You can say pull apart and push in, pull apart. Simple movement, but the body. So let's say I'm going to do this at this reversing point. Before I do this, I'm already leaning forward to provide the power and then squeeze. And before I pull the hands apart, I'm already leaning backward. So the same idea. Yeah. Good. Or when you're going, and then, yeah, so, yeah. Forward and squeeze in, yeah. And backward. Forward and squeeze in. Good job. The elbows are always bent. This was okay. When you go forward, I feel like this was straightened too much. So like this. Yeah. They can go closer as this, and then usually we don't let the hands go over the body line. This was too much, starting from here, going forward. Yeah. Good. Move forward like this. Yeah. And That's a good one. What I felt when I was learning is I felt like I was like seaweed in the water, like so comfortable. And of course, you don't have to go bigger. You could go like not always big circles. You can go like this. That's opposite. You go squeeze in, go forward. Yeah, and then. Good. You're doing oppositely now. So push in forward, leaning forward. Yeah. And then pulling apart, leaning backward. Good. Yeah. So this one is mainly leftward and rightward. So forward, upward, downward, rightward, leftward. So there's forward and backward. It's standing this posture. Standing in the way. Let's do 5 more minutes. Just experience this movement. Then we take a break. So standing on the waist deep water, gently pushing your hands on a wooden plank that's floating on the water like this, and then we lean forward and push the plank, and lean backward and pull the plank, push and pull. So this is mainly forward and backward. Remember what I said, the body movement is the same. At this point, before I pull my hands backward, my body is already leaning backward. As soon as leaning backward, the force is the energy and power. This moment, before I push forward, my body is already leaning and I push. Don't let your elbows go across the body. That's too much. Just around the body and then go forward. And when we go forward, never extend, never straighten your elbows. Pull, push, pull, push. Push, pull. The 3 movements that we've been doing, we separate the 6 directions in pairs. We always practice 2 opposite directions in pairs. When the body gets more used to the movement, we'll always be able to unify the body in these pairs of directions of forces, and we will combine them together. We practice 1 movement, 6 directions together. This is such a good training method. This was created by one of the 2nd generation Yichuan master, because Master Wang told them to practice 6 directions at a time in the beginning. He was confused, like, how could I do 6 directions and like that? So then we're like, how can I separate them? I think I can do 2 directions at a time, and then the other 2, and then another 2. Then that's how we do this now. It's so easy, especially you remember that resistance and the body is doing the movement. Good. So when I posted videos that I'm going to States, I'm going to stay a few days in each of the cities. There was this guy posting under each of my videos. He said, "You don't know Zhanzhuang. I'll challenge you. I'll fight you in front of the camera, and you have to empty all the contents." I think his point is this thing cannot be taught in 1 week. I only stay 1 week in the city. It's like, no. It was so annoying.
You're planting seeds.
That's right. Standing, actually, can you talk about how you do them? How you do the movement, especially how you feel like the body is leading? Because I think you're doing like perfectly, like for that part. Can you tell like how you feel and in your own words, please?
As I lean forward, I let my it's like the body is moving. Then I'm letting the arms catch up.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. Forward and just.
If you can improve the connection, let the body move and the hands catch up. If you can make the connection better, that will be it. But right now, feels like at the reversing point, it's broken. So it's not connected. You're leaning, but the hands, and then it's like I feel like the arms and the body are two, not one. So we want them one. Like the jellyfish or seaweed, the roots of the how do you say the trunk? Maybe not trunk for weed, for oh yes, then yeah. So they're always connected. Yeah, so it's always connected. That's good expression that the hands are catching up, but they feel the power. They are provided with the power by the body's leaning and then go. All right, guys, take a break. Good job.